What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is July 23rd of 2019. Well, folks, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are, and in today's video, we've got a variety of topics to talk about in relation to crypto. We're going to start off by taking a look at the price of Bitcoin, talking about why I not only believe we're going to have a continued correction over the next few days, but along with that, why I'm starting to get comfortable averaging into Bitcoin at this price range. Along with that, Justin Son of Tron has had to postpone his meeting with Warren Buffett. We'll talk about why that is as we go throughout the video, and along with that as well, an abundance of scams and frauds in the crypto space continue to be prevalent in the early Wild West days of crypto. And last but not least, we're going to be sitting down with Carolyn Chen, who is the Chief Strategy Officer at CoinMarketCap, who's one of our partners on the channel, and we're going to be talking about the upcoming conference they have in Singapore. So we've got lots of things to discuss, guys. Let's go ahead and dive right into the video. As we take a look here in the sense of market change, very few players are in the green right now. Most players are to the downside as Bitcoin has continued correcting over the last 3 days. We'll take a look here at overall market cap and dominance. We can see here that we're starting to roll over yet again, and it looks like we're going to go in and set a third final low here in the sense of market capitalization. So we went down to 249 last time. I would think that, worst case scenario, we come back down to 200 billion, but again, that's more of a more bearish scenario that I think most would propagate or allow for in this case, or allow for in their predictions. I think honestly there's a good likelihood that this could happen, and the reason why is that there seems to be a need for one good final altcoin flush in this case that I've been looking for, and that is in a lot of players that aren't going to rebound, guys. There needs to be a flush in a lot of these coins because there's a lot of market cap that is in other coins that's in this market right now that needs to circulate either into other altcoins that are actually established and have real liquid markets and real products, or needs to go into Bitcoin. Right now, we've just got just an awash of altcoins that are about to, I think over time, most of them are just going to slowly decay. That's the problem that I think a lot of people miss out, is that they're just going to slowly tether off over time. And they won't even be continuing to increase in the USD value as crypto markets go up. That's the thing. But I do believe we can also have these kind of sudden flushes in the market, and it would make sense to have something like that right now when we're going through a corrective period, where people are going to take upon the gains that they've had and some of the recovery that they've had throughout the early part of 2019, right? So I think that that's what you might get in the next week. You're going to get a big shuffle in market cap here. Now, talking about Bitcoin, again, I told you guys anything below this range here, about below 10,800, is a range where I feel comfortable averaging in, because generally speaking, it's about a 30% correction from the highs, and anything below here as well, down here towards 35 to 40%, is something that I see as a great buy opportunity, because I know historically that Bitcoin goes through 30 to 40% corrections. And even though throughout this whole year we hadn't had one, we finally now have a correction in Bitcoin down to around 30 to 40%. It's finally here. And the thing about this correction that I really like is that it's not only a full-scale correction, but it's actually taken its time as well. You want to have corrections that actually have nice sideways price action, where we actually have cool-down periods in markets, because this allows us to go higher in markets, guys. It allows us to build foundations on previous resistance, and I think that's exactly what we're doing here, guys. Even if we go down to around 8,500, which is going to be kind of my big even target that I'm looking at here over the next 2 to 3 days, even if we go down to 8,500, anywhere around 8,800, similar to where we have support here, we're making previous resistance support now. And this is good. You want to have these kind of corrections. You want to see, for example, when it comes to these corrective periods, that people aren't selling like crazy, right? There's no crazy sell side volume that isn't being matched to the buy side volume. And right now, what this is basically building in mind in this market, in the sense of market psychology, is that when you can build new support like this allows buyers to get confident that, okay, wow, we really are building up for the next rally here. My next target can be 15,000, 20,000, maybe even higher levels past the previous highs. So you need to make those kind of support ranges. And I think at big evens like 9,000 to 8,000, we're going to find some support here. The support line is already showing this, and again, what's nice is that it is descending in this case, so we are possibly going to set in what could be seen as a third or fourth low in this case from the correction. So I'd like to see that. I'm not going to get too greedy about getting it exactly at my buy-in price. I'm going to hope that this is continuing to correct over the next day or two, and then I'll scoop in my position so long as I can get my cash into my Coinbase account, because bank deposits, well, you guys know they're extremely fast, right? That's why we're all in this crypto movement. We want to slow down the process of wire transfers, right? Yeah, so it's very inefficient. Definitely has kept me from being able to buy certain coins at certain prices, but nonetheless, looking for anything between this range of 8,000 to 9,000 would be an awesome steal in my personal opinion. I at least know that I'm going to be averaging it, but you guys got to determine that for yourself. It's not financial advice. Now, we'll take a look real quick. Some of the other market leaders. I want to take a look at the Bitcoin comparatives here as we start to kind of prep for a potential altcoin cycle. Again, Ethereum here on Bittrex, I like seeing how it's flat here, but man, it is really disappointing. There's like no volume, not to mention as well, this isn't showing me the kind of momentum that I want to see. I want to see candles like this where there's an absolute reversal in the sense of volume, in the sense of price. And that's what you kind of need to jumpstart an altcoin rally in this case is, a day or two where people are like, oh, wow, that just like, for example, to give you some kind of clarity of that, think back to April 2nd and April 3rd of this year when Bitcoin just propped up out of nowhere in a dead market. And the volume that came in, the hundreds of millions of dollars that came in a matter of a few minutes and turned into billions of dollars in daily volume across the cryptocurrency space that wasn't present beforehand. That's what you want to see here. You want to see a dramatic shift in market dominance. And we have yet to see that. So until we see a trend shift, guys, don't get too eager. Right? There's no need to overexpose yourself. All right. And taking a look, I know some people have asked me to take a look at XRP. I'll be honest, guys, I do like, for example, how it is setting up higher lows here compared to Bitcoin over the last few days. But until, again, I see the momentum, I'm not trading it. I personally am not very bullish on it fundamentally. It's just me personally. I like the partnerships, things of that sort. But this is a momentum play to me, and I wait for the proper setup. So no offense to those who are XRP holders, just my personal opinion. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about this rescheduling of the meeting with Warren Buffett between Justin Sun. And now to clarify what this is, guys, there's a lot of people as well who are saying that it's canceled. Not to mention Justin didn't really help and help in the sense of the tweet that he put out. I think it's here on this article. It's a dear friends, thanks to friends from all walks of life for their concern. I was in the hospital for sudden kidney stones and I canceled the lunch with Mr. Buffett. At present, the physical condition is all stable and in the recovery period. I cannot accept the interview. Please forgive me. After the recent physical recovery, you will soon meet the outside world. I'm assuming he'll soon meet out the outside world and he'll come back to the normal world. The donation to the Glide Foundation has been completed and is still valid. All right, so as you can tell here, guys, he has kidney stones. And look, I'm not the biggest fan of Justin Sun. Some people were laughing about this on Twitter. I'm not going to really laugh about that. I don't like Justin personally. I'm not a big fan of him, just personally for me. But I will say this. I think that it's wrong to joke about that. It's not a very good thing to go through. I've had family members and friends who've had kidney stones. Very painful. And I wish him the best in his recovery. That being said, this isn't canceled, guys. And this is the funny thing is that it's been having this huge reaction on Tron's price, when in reality, like, they're still going to have the meeting. So again, to me as a trader, I almost want to buy dips like this where there's been like reactionary selling, or maybe makes me think that there's something else that's causing the sell side action in the market. But I think this proves to the impatience, the impatient nature of a lot of people in cryptocurrencies. So we'll have to see. I don't know if this continues to revisit down like a range down here that we saw in the previous months. In the previous part of the month, then that's what I would definitely look to pick up here. I like dips like this personally. So we'll have to see here. Again, I think that, it's very clear here that they are going to have the meeting again. I'm really curious as to what's going to happen in the sense of the meeting. They've got some pretty big A-list individuals coming with Justin. So I wonder if they'll be able to make it this time around. People in crypto keep busy, but I'm assuming no one's going to pass up a meeting with Warren Buffett. I hope they do a good job and they do justice for the crypto space. But let's go ahead and take a look here at cryptocurrency thefts and fraud reaching $1.2 billion in Q1 of 2019. Guys, I'm going to say one thing here. If you're in this space now, you got to have street smarts. And the second thing you got to have is the mindset that not your keys, not your crypto. Now, the cryptocurrency theft and fraud figure that they list here, again, I think would be disputable to some degree. But when you factor in the variety of exchange hacks that we had in the first quarter of 2019, the continuous scams out there from fake Twitter accounts that imitate people like myself or other individuals in crypto, or Elon Musk, perchance, and then also the amount of malware bots usually tied to Monero, yeah, you can get a figure around this point. And the thing about it is that it gives a really bad stigma for cryptocurrencies. But the fact of the matter is if you just hold your keys, keep it in your hardware wallet, you have some street smarts, don't fall for free ETH giveaways or things of that sort, and you also don't leave all your funds in an exchange, you're A-okay. You are just as okay as the day those Bitcoin were minted on the network or those other cryptocurrencies were created on the network. Plain and simple. The only thing you're subject to in that case is the price change, and that's the same with just about any currency or asset in the world. So as we go through here, again, as I talked about, it has a lot to do with the exchanges. We had the Binance hack, we had the CoinCheck hack. I think there's one other hack here as well that they mentioned in the article. But the Bitcoin exchange was really kind of the big recent one. And the thing is, we haven't seen this really impact Bitcoin's price. I think this is just a sign that, again, there is a need for decentralized exchanges. There is a need for liquidity to move away from central points of control. And I think we're going to continue. The more we see stuff like this, there is more and more of a need and practical acceptance of the idea of using decentralized exchanges and managing your own keys. I believe most people in the crypto space are capable of it. You just need to make it less overwhelming. And a lot of crypto wallets still do that, even some of the nicer mobile wallets. Just show people the importance of becoming your own bank, show them the reasons for it, and along with that as well, make key management easier. Implement Shamir secret sharing or key sharding in this case that allows you to break up your private key. Do all kinds of stuff that makes it kind of fun and much more, much less overwhelming in that case. I think is what we really need to do. Now, outside of that as well, there's been a fraudulent Bitcoin email going around duping investors out of their Bitcoin, which is imitating the UK's Financial Conduct Authority, or the FCA. Just wanted to share with you guys. There's not really much details in the article here. Just basically wanting to let you guys know, don't fall for it if you see it. Again, anyone emailing you that requires you to send Bitcoin somewhere, guys, unless it is an exchange that you have requested to send money to in some sense, or, well, actually, that doesn't really make much sense. Yeah, there's really not many good examples where you're looking to send your crypto funds anywhere. Anyone asking you for crypto in that case should be an understandable case scenario, maybe, for example, when you need to send a payment of some sort, and usually that gets settled beforehand, right? So, again, guys, play safe out there, apply street smarts. It is one of the biggest things that will pay off in cryptos if you're just practical about things. If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and spend some time to sit down with Carolyn Chen, who is the Chief Strategy Officer over at CoinMarketCap, one of my favorite coin aggregator websites in the crypto space. So without further ado, let's go ahead and sit down and learn a little bit more about not only what CoinMarketCap is doing, but also what they've got planned in Singapore. What's going on, everyone? And today we are going to be sitting down with Carolyn, who is the Chief Strategy Officer over at CoinMarketCap.com. Carolyn and I have had some time to talk behind the scenes as I've recently become a partner with CoinMarketCap, and we've got a lot of exciting things coming down the pipeline, not only on the website, but along with that through their conference in Singapore that they recently announced. So Carolyn, thank you for making the time. I know you guys, even though you're all spread across the world, you guys are keeping busy 24/7, so thank you for making the time.
Thank you so much for having us, Nick.
So I want to start off, kind of diving into, I think, what's most relevant to a lot of people, which is CoinMarketCap.com. You guys are not only one of the largest coin aggregate sites in the world, but along with that, you are a huge website in the sense of Alexa rankings on the web. So you guys pull in a lot of traffic, and you provide a really important service, which is keeping up with price data on cryptocurrencies. So what are you guys doing to kind of stand out against other competitors in the space and also try to provide as much value for users on the platform?
I think there are multiple things that people like about CMC. For example, part of it is like the really clean, simple designs. So I think the funny thing was when I looked back to what the site looked like in 2013, it looks pretty similar to what we have now, except maybe we have different fonts and maybe a little bit of a slightly updated design aesthetic, but pretty much the same. So I think like that kind of clean, simple, come back and get your daily or like quick dose of crypto info. Like, I think a lot of people like that. And I think part of that's also people trust the data. They like that CFC has always been not about censoring information. It's always been about providing the most updated, the most accurate, most researched information. So I think like that's how it's been part of the appeal. And also recently, we actually did announce an acquisition of a team, and that's going to be a team that will be helping us to further develop our pricing algorithm. So people know about our volume weighted average price, but I think we're going to go to more liquidity measures. We're going to look at more other metrics that people care about to help them to figure out, which exchange they should trade on and have a better sense of the pricing on the site itself.
Yeah, when I first started communicating with you guys and learning a little bit more about what you were doing behind the scenes for CoinMarketCap, I was really excited to hear that you were working on not only the acquisition, but working towards trying to build better volume and price metrics. So the first thing you mentioned there, and I think it's just important to kind of clarify for people, is having a volume-weighted price is how most aggregate sites, and I guess how CoinMarketCap had gotten the price that it would display, and that would be basically by taking where's the bulk of the volume and what's the price of the cryptocurrency tied to the vast majority of volume in this case. But in this case, what you guys are actually trying to do is you're trying to build a new custom algorithm that's going to give you not only more accurate pricing to exchanges that have real liquid volume in this case, but along with that as well, in pair, you're going to try to improve the volume input data on the exchange by taking into account cold storage on exchanges, as well as a lot of different metrics that people haven't commonly used before.
Yes, absolutely right, Nick. You got it all.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad I got it because that's, I mean, it excites me personally because I've used a few different sites. I've used you guys, Coin Paprika. There's all kinds of different aggregate sites out there. But the thing for me is I think it's so important for the space is to have transparent volume data. And not only that, but also to have more data in the sense of the liquidity and the actual capital behind the books of the actual exchange. So again, we can see whether or not these are real liquid exchanges or not. So I think you guys are doing great in regards to that. And outside of that as well, I know you guys always try to kind of put across that you guys have a lot of other educational and kind of useful tools on the different different areas of the website. I know you have the resources tab and the tools tab that have, for example, your new block explorer, which I think people should definitely go check out. It's much cleaner than most. It's crazy it took this long to get a nice clean block explorer in the crypto space, so I applaud you guys for that. And people can set custom watch list, things of that sort on the site, which I think is really awesome. You guys provide kind of flexibility to retain people on the platform.
Yeah, I think we also have, so recently we also launched the mobile apps. So a lot of people have been liking that. I think part of that's also people feel like it's a lot more kind of updated in terms of design. And there are some features on there which are not currently on the site. So for example, things like price alerts or candlesticks or, kind of compare, like kind of a comparison tool between cryptocurrencies. So I think just kind of multiple things that we have slipped in there on the app that we will eventually also make onto the site. So I think some people have been really enjoying the fact that they've been able to play around with some of these things before they make it onto the site. So I would definitely say like that has been fun to work on as well. And in terms of like other educational stuff we have on the site, so for example, things like we have a daily newsletter. So people also like that it's very lighthearted, like it has a lot of emojis, it's very kind of condensed update of the market. And there's also a daily poll in there, which we slip in for people to kind of give their comments about what's happening in the market. So, recently we've asked about Libra, we've asked about, what do people feel about the bull market, stuff like that. And I think most of the people who actually read the newsletter find that as a super fun way to interact with other people who are also reading the newsletter because they can see their response. So I think things like that, together with let's say our Telegram chatbot, our blog, stuff like that. So I think we're putting together a really compelling set of different ways for people to interact with different forms of data and information and just kind of educational material. And one other thing that we'll be adding soon will be video. So I think Data Dash and us will actually have something interesting to announce in the future, probably in that regard. So I think like we're super excited about the video side of things as well on CoinMarketCap.
Well, it's good to see you guys evolving as a platform and stuff. I know there's some exciting stuff down the pipeline, and I can't wait till people get to see it on the platform again. Trying to provide a more kind of data-oriented and kind of full-scope picture in regards to learning about cryptocurrencies and also keeping up with what's going on day to day. One thing that I think is really interesting as well, Carolyn, is that you guys are getting into running your own conference. You're going to be doing one in Singapore in November, and I'm actually very happy because I'm going to be able to, for the first time, MC or help kind of run the conference. In this case, I'm going to be live streaming the event or possibly moderating on a panel with you guys. So I'm real excited to do that. I'm definitely, curious as to how it will go. This is my first time, but I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity. What are some of the things that you guys are going to be doing at the conference? Who's going to be there? What are some of the exciting things to look forward to?
Yeah, so I think actually I'm super excited to have you at the conference. I think you'll be one of the key players there, really moderating or kind of emceeing on the stage, telling more people about just different aspects of the conference and the attendees. So I think that for me, the agenda itself is really exciting. So we will have, I think the big thing that we have revealed last Friday was that our founder, Brandon Chess, who's never really been revealed, he will actually be making an appearance on stage for the event. So he's going to be appearing there with Sunny King, who is the founder of the proof of stake consensus mechanism. So basically, the founder of Purecoin and Primecoin, which are the two kind of OG coins in the space, and also at the same time, he has this new project called Visas. So I think like with all of these uh, experiments and all the projects that he's worked on over the years, I think Brandon will have a good time interviewing and understanding what Sunny has been thinking about in terms of proof of stake. Now that proof of stake is quite a popular mechanism. And also, I guess people are excited. Because they've never seen Brandon. They've never seen like who this person is behind CoinMarketCap. So I think it's a really good opportunity to come and see whether you can catch a glimpse of who this person is and listen to him on stage. So I think that is super exciting. I think there are a bunch of other people that we have actually got onto the agenda. So like big tech companies, some of the biggest funds, some of the biggest names in the space. So I feel like that's kind of a well-balanced mix of different people with different perspectives that are revolving around the whole kind of crypto and also kind of crypto data sphere that, obviously we are part of. So I think with all of that, it's going to be wrapped in a really interesting format. I think, usually when we go to conferences, we see like a really kind of lobby con. People just hang out in the lobby. But this time we actually made it into a much more engaging experience. So there's going to be like tactile exhibits. You can actually like, kind of interact with screens and touch and experience different things, kind of, for example, touching a screen and interacting with data on the screen in like really interesting formats. So I feel like that in itself is also a cool thing. And also we want people to experience the technology too, right? So, kind of having NFTs and I think more exploration of topics in the space that people care about, like DeFi, which you are interested in as well, Nick. So I feel like with all of a blend of that, I know that's a lot, but I feel like with all of
No,
that,
I think it's exciting. I mean, Carolyn, you guys have a lot planned. I mean, I'm glad that you're tackling, as you mentioned, or hinted to, kind of the DeFi movement. I think that's a
yeah,
huge topic of discussion.
yeah,
Getting people comfortable with digital assets and NFTs, I think that's going to get a lot of people excited about the crypto movement as well. But outside of that, I mean, as you mentioned way earlier in that kind of spiel of what's going to go on in the conference, I think that it's really going to be exciting to hear about, the founder of Proof of Stake as well as the founder of CoinMarketCap, because the thing is, a lot of people still, I think, don't know about Purecoin and how it kind of
yeah,
shaped proof of stake. It was the first proof of stake cryptocurrency. So it will be really cool to get someone who founded it, who is one of the oldest people
yeah.
knowing about the concept of proof of stake, to actually talk about where they're moving now, what they're doing, and then also to meet the founder of CoinMarketCap as well, who's kind of
Yeah.
behind the scenes in this massive website for the cryptocurrency space.
And
Outside of
also
that,
to meet,
oh yeah.
yeah, and also to you and I. So I hope people will come for
Yes,
that.
yes, come for us. Yes, we're worth the price alone, aren't we? Just kidding. But no, I want to say, Carolyn, it's been awesome to have you on here. I'm curious, what are some of the links that people should check out if they want to find more information on the conference and buy tickets, and also check out maybe some really interesting resources tied to CoinMarketCap, maybe social media, etc.
Yeah, I think for the conference, definitely check out conference.coinmarketcap.com. So we actually opened ticket sales last Friday. So definitely check that out. In terms of kind of useful links, we actually did a little navigation revamp update on the site a couple months back. So we actually have all of those resources on there now. So if you've never really clicked on the nav bar, just kind of go there, experiment, click around. You should be able to see a lot of the new things that we've added on the site. So I think that just those two things, you can really like check that out and let us know what you think as well.
Awesome, Carolyn. Well, I appreciate you making the time. I know you guys always keep busy. I love the absolute. I absolutely love all the different changes on the website. I like what you guys have added to the resource tab and how you guys are expanding into education, a lot of other areas as well, and helping people get a better grasp on the crypto space. So hopefully we can have you on here sometime in the future to talk about future collaboration and also what you guys have been up to on the site. And can't wait for the conference. It's going to be a really good time in November.
Yeah, absolutely. I can refer it as well. I think it's going to be awesome. So see you there.
Awesome. Sounds good.